Step 2 for sex addiction. Welcome to this topic. It's very, very important. As we walk through 12 steps, you get a really good understanding of step 2. So let me read it and let's walk through this together. And first of all, let me say I'm proud of you for walking through these steps. As a recovering sex addict, I know these can change your life. So step 2, came to believe a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Now, coming to believe, that's a process. You came to believe you're a sex addict. That didn't happen overnight. Often it's years, sometimes decades, as you repeat behaviors that don't make sense, as you get into relationships that don't make sense, as you hurt people that you love, as you watch things that don't make sense to you now as you're getting into recovery. You came to believe you were a sex addict. It's a process. Okay, coming to believe in your whole life is always going to be a process. And so if you're in that process, congratulations. Okay, now this is the process of coming to believe in a power greater than ourselves. And in this process, it's very similar. It takes time, often experiences, and a path. It takes usually others' involvement, and it is a journey. And it's not one that ends, it's one that continues. But when you come to believe, there is a place and time when you actually arrive at believing. Now your belief grows, but you can actually say it was here, usually, that I came to believe. And if you don't have that experience yet, I really hope as we walk through steps, there is a place and time you can say, that's where I came to believe. Now believing in a power greater than yourself is not understanding. It's not reading a book about theology. It's not reading a book about spirituality. It's not reading a book about the religions of the world. It's not reading a New Age book or a contemplation book or a positive thinking book or an energy book. It's not understanding something. It's believing something. Now, when you believe something, that's a heart thing. Your heart changes. It moves towards what you believe. When you believe, you start changing. When you believe you were a sex addict, you started to go to groups, make phone calls, get materials. You start to believe that, hey, there's hope, that I can heal, that I can actually be recovering from sex addiction. Coming to believe in a power is very similar. There's a place where you believe, and then your behavior starts to change. I believe in a power that's greater than me. Now I understand I'm talking to a wide range of people. From those who have theology degrees, to those who are rabbis and priests and pastors and, medicine men and New Age leaders, all the way to someone who knows nothing at all about spirituality. Now I'm using the word spirituality very selectively because I'm not talking about religion. The 12 steps isn't talking about a religious process, although it came from the religious community in 1933. Okay, it came from that community. But the gift is, it says, hey, here's a path to find a power greater than yourself. And this whole phrase was the only one that they changed in the whole 12 steps early on. You used to say God, right? But that was scary for alcoholics in 1933 because being an alcoholic back then was really a bad thing. It was a shameful thing. And so they thought they would soften it and allow someone to find this. So if you're that person who's all the way over here on the continuum and you have no spiritual experience, just say power, universe, heaven, God, whatever is out there, I need you. Help me. I don't know who you are. Send me the right people, information, and resources I need to find you. That prayer will get you moving. Okay? That's coming to believe. It's actually talking to that and believing that that hears you. And even if that doesn't have a name for you yet, that's okay. If that does have a name for you, then call upon the name. Okay? Come to believe and let your belief be part of your healing. Now, this word A is a very simple word. It means one. A dog, a bus, a job. It doesn't mean multiples. So you're not looking for multiple powers. Okay, you're not looking for a power for this and a power for that and a power for this. You're looking for one. Power greater than ourselves. Now, this is really significant. And so many people in the recovery community get confused because here, sometimes they hear the word higher power, but the word higher power is not in the 12 steps. Okay? It's just not there. It's a power greater than ourselves. That's the statement. So you're not looking for a higher power. You're looking for a power that has a really clear definition. It's singular and it's greater than ourselves. So a power greater than ourselves is not another human being. Your spouse, as wonderful as they are, cannot be your higher power. A sponsor is not a higher power. Therapist is not a higher power, whether they believe that or not, okay? They're not. And the word ourselves is actually plural. So it means it's greater than the whole recovery community. Ourselves. So you're looking for something that's not human, that's greater than human, and that's greater than the group of humans that you can create. Okay? So please don't minimize your process and say the doorknob is your power greater than ourselves, because that doorknob can't even write or think or listen to a YouTube video. So it's not greater than you. And any soul you know, singularly, is not greater than ourselves. Any souls you know as a team is not greater than ourselves. So go outside that box. Whatever your journey is, that's the beginning of your journey. You're looking for something really big, okay? Now what's interesting is this word could. Could is probably one of the most compassionate words in the steps, because this power can do what it can do. It can restore us to sanity. It can restore us either back to before our addiction or restore us to what we would be like had we never been addicted. Imagine what you would be like if you never soaked yourself in thousands of hours of lust. If you haven't soaked yourself in thousands of hours of objectifying men or women or couples. Imagine if you didn't glue your sexuality to an object world and instead you were actually connected to a relational person and in love with that person, and you can't think of anyone but that person when you think sexuality. Imagine what it would be like to walk through a mall or a shopping center and not feel like you have to check out everybody's body. Imagine what it would like to see people with souls and go, wow, that's an amazing person. That's an amazing mom, sister, friend. That's an amazing man, that's a person. You know, you don't have to go, oh my gosh, look at that, the proportions, and reduce this incredible being down to one-dimensional and then take it even further and sexualize them or take it further in fantasy. You don't have to go through all this gymnastics. Imagine what it's like to be sane. And now think for a moment that this power can actually do that. Can take you from a path, and I've been there, a path where you're so distracted and so clouded, and a person opens a door, you sexualize. A person who smiles, you sexualize. Imagine taking that mind and that disposition and being able to actually enjoy someone just being nice to you. And just say, wow, that's a nice person. Imagine being able to see people that are even attractive by cultural standards and just go, wow, that's a nice person. Or I just had an interesting conversation. That doesn't mean they want to go to bed with me or that they love me or that they want me. They're just having a conversation. Imagine what it's like to be free in your mind. Imagine how much time you could actually use if you were restored to sanity. I've worked with guys for over 35 years. And they have happier marriages. They love their spouse again. And if it's a woman, she loves her husband again. They know how to love. They're actually authentic again. They don't have any shame. They're not afraid or ashamed of what they did last weekend. They don't have to hide their internet history. They don't have a secret cell phone. They don't have secrets at all. That's what this power can do for you. That's what this 12-step process can do for you. As a sex addict, and I'm recovering, I've been sober for decades now. You do not have to be trapped in sex addiction. You can be, but you don't have to be. And step 2 is the beginning. It's where you believe that a power greater than yourself could restore you back or restore you forward into being the really amazing human being you were meant to be. One that could give love, one that could receive love, one that doesn't have to sexualize everything, one that can enjoy their relationships, hug their kids without shame, not have to think about the lies that they have to tell about where they've been or what they're doing, or create stories and keep up with stories and remember stories. You don't have to do that. You can live in the present, be present, and enjoy the presence of other relationships and be with them, enjoy them, and have fun. Life is so good being clean. I could tell you, if you could experience like a whole day being clean, you would never go back to sex addiction. It's insanity, it's dark, it's cloudy, it's mucky, it's a game. And life is so much more enjoyable being sane. And I have seen thousands of men and women get sane. So I can tell you that this power exists. I can tell you from a psychologist standpoint that this power exists and that it does restore people to sanity. So if you want to be one of those, I want you to keep going through the steps with me. We're only on step 2, okay? And you're just beginning to believe, but there's more than believing. There's work ahead of us, okay? Now, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please click that button and subscribe so you can be notified when the next step comes out. And we literally have hundreds of YouTube videos that can help you or those you love. So please go through those, find things that can be helpful. There's lots of stuff in recovery, especially about sex addiction. And if you have a comment or a question, please use the comment box below. Type in your question. We get to those as soon as I possibly can. I personally answer those. And I want to be helpful if you're on the journey of recovery to help you take the next step. So please subscribe and continue to watch these steps.